So Rob and Helen, what does the Life Flight Trust mean to you guys?
The Life Flight Trust means to us the life of our boys. Simple. If it weren't for the Life Flight Trust, I don't think we would have the boys with us now. They wouldn't have got to the specialist care they needed as quickly as they needed to. So we owe the Life Flight Trust the life of our boys, we feel.
How did the situation come about? When did you need the Life Flight Trust?
We needed them last September. Early one morning, our boys just had a bit of a cough, and by that night they were in intensive care down here in Wellington, and we live in Masterton. The service in Masterton, we just don't have the care that is needed, so the air ambulance came and picked us up and brought us down here.
Helen, it's a mother's worst nightmare, obviously, having a child in that situation. So did you actually know the Life Flight Trust existed at that time?
Not really. I knew about the Westpac helicopter, but not about the fixed wing air ambulance. And to have them just arrive and take care of the boys and then transfer them again later on to Starship was just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah.
Where have things gone for your family now? Are the boys fully recovered? And
yeah, the boys are typical 10-month-old twins, so bedlam. So yeah, they're really well recovered now. Yeah, 100% back to normal.
What would you say to other people, I guess, out there in New Zealand who aren't maybe aware of the Life Flight Trust right now and the ambulance? I mean, I think a lot of people know about the chopper. What would you try and do to raise awareness at the moment, you think, of the plane?
I think just anybody spread the word about the plane. No one ever believes they're going to need the service, and it's not until you do need it you understand that it's there. So for us, anything that we can do to help raise awareness for that Life Flight Trust and the air ambulance is positive.
Can you quickly run us maybe through the experience? I mean, what sort of time frame are we talking about before something goes wrong and there's a plane at your door and that kind of thing happens?
Okay, we took our boys into hospital first thing one morning because one of them was looking very dehydrated, eyes sunken in. By about lunchtime, they were starting to make contact with Wellington as to what they could do next, because they knew that with the virus they had, they would continue to go downhill, and they didn't have the backup in Masterton Hospital to cope with that. So they wanted to get them to a safer place. And so, yeah, it happens very quickly, very, very quickly, especially with children. They don't have the resources in their bodies to go for long with sickness like that. Yeah.
I've just had a quick look at what's on the inside of the plane. So we're talking about, it's almost a full ambulance or hospital kind of inside. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. It's not designed for comfort. It's designed to keep people alive. That's it. Everything they need. And in our case, the boys were in the incubators, so they needed everything they needed were in the incubators anyway. But to get those incubators, two of them, into the plane, they can't fit in a helicopter, which is what we thought we were getting. That's how it came about that we learned that there was a fixed-wing aircraft, because we were waiting for the helicopter to arrive. Well, I was. Helen had left to come down here in the car, and the crew walked through the door. And I was looking out the window thinking, well, the landing pad's just outside the window, and the plane didn't land there. But anyway, it was less than probably 10 hours from when we took them into hospital that the plane was there. And then we needed them again a few days later to transfer to Starship. Yeah.
What a fantastic story. Have you got anything else that you any other comments you'd probably want to make?
The comment that I would like to get out to people is about 95% of hospitals in New Zealand can't cope with a lot of intensive care type scenarios. I think I read there's only 5 main hospitals in New Zealand, so a lot of New Zealand are relying on this service to keep going, to increase chances of survival for mostly neonatal babies, but yeah, anybody that needs urgent intensive treatment. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The Life Flight Trust needs money to keep flying, and if we don't have the Life Flight Trust, people are going to die. Simple as that. And they're mostly publicly funded, fundraising such like. So bear that in mind when there's an appeal. Simple. They need money and they need help.
Thanks a lot for your time, both of you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.